Wilder! Yeah, baby!
Smiling or looking at me? Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, higher. 6, 7, 2 more. 8, 9, 10. Yeah. And keep it rolling.
Kell Brook. What next for Kell Brook, Terry?
Liam Smith, I imagine. They'll find a way of doing that in America, get some money, and then that'll be it for him.
Yeah, you reckon, yeah?
Yeah. I think Kel's done everything he can now. I just, we've seen the best of Kel. We're just watching him sell his name now.
Well, is he a gatekeeper now, Kell Brook?
He's not even a gatekeeper, man. He's fallen that much off that he can't even be a gatekeeper.
What do you think about certain people in Essex putting feelers out to Kell Brook's old man about him fighting Conor Bennett end of the year on pay-per-view?
To fight who?
Conor Benn.
I don't see how that makes sense for either man.
I think that's just social media chit-chat then.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense because that would just tell us that Kel's completely finished. You may as well just get Amir Khan if you want to do that. Pay Amir Khan for the privilege of just running over someone like that.
Yeah. Would Conor Benn run over Kell Brook, do you think?
Yeah, I just don't think Kel's got the resistance in him anymore.
As soon as he gets hit, he looks really vulnerable, whereas before he used to walk through it, didn't he?
Yeah, he was good. So that 2014, he was maybe the second or third best welterweight on the planet. And he's fallen off so much now. And he still dreams of getting back up there. But in boxing, you have your moment. And if you don't make the most of it, then you don't get it back.
Yeah. All right. Fury Joshua, the Eddie Hearn announcement.
I refer everyone back to what I've said on every episode I've ever done with you, Russ. If you want the fight to happen, it'll be 2022 at the earliest.
Yeah.
And that's always been the date discussed.
Why are they doing announcements saying there's going to be an announcement in 30 days? I mean, is that just to prolong it so they can get a bit more talking done and try and get it over the line?
No, so remember, Russ, to get these fights agreed, right? So this is why I don't believe the fight's been agreed. With these governing bodies, when you petition them to have a fight, you have to tell them what the venue is, right? And you can have no more than 3 options. And Hearn's telling us that 9 people have contacted him. So we're like, okay, mate, you have to get that down to 3. Before you can even go to the governing bodies, you got to get it down to 3.
Yeah.
And so we're just nowhere near it happening, man. We're nowhere near.
But what do you think about Max Kellerman coming out and saying that Wilder's taking $7 million step aside, but also Finkel coming out saying there's no step aside. If any fights are announced for Tyson Fury other than Wilder, writs are going to be issued. So there's a lot of intangibles in this, isn't there? There's Shelley Finkel, Al Heyman, there's Wilder, there's Joyce Usyk. There's a lot of subplots in all this. There's Saudi. There's the Human Rights Act with Saudi. They haven't got a country to put the money up. There's no fans. Put it all into a bubble. Too many chefs spoil the broth. What do you think?
Mate, you just put about 82 metaphors together there, Russ.
No, I'm amazing, aren't I?
I think if we keep it simple, Shelley Finkel's got to be wagging the stick, right? That's his job. Yeah. He's got to be saying to Hearn and everyone, no one's doing anything without our involvement. So Shelley's right to insert himself into the negotiations. But Shelley Finkel's also smart enough to realize Wilder needs to rebuild. So he's basically saying, look, we want to get that step-aside money. We can go off, have a couple of fights, rebuild, and then we can come and look at who's won out of these 2 or who's lost, and then we can pick who we want.
Yeah.
I think that's what Team Wilder will want. They'll want about 7 mil to step aside, but they'll also want to know that they're next on the list for whoever wins the 2 fights between AJ and Fury. And I don't think that's unreasonable. If you're a boxing fan, that's what you want to see. I don't want to see, like, let's say Joshua wins both fights. I don't want to see Joshua fight and Andy Ruiz again. I want to see him fight Wilder, complete the set.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Felix Cash and Bentley fighting is it the 4th fight Hearn and Warren have put on in 10 years?
Yeah.
4 fights in 10 years. If we'd have had 4 a year, we'd have had 40, wouldn't we? So have we been shortchanged by 36 fights?
Well, so name me the 36 fights you'd have wanted to see.
I'm sure we could have made loads, couldn't there? There's been loads of it years, hasn't there? We could have had Callum Johnson against Yard. There could have been Joshua Fury a lot earlier. Could have been Dylan White against Joyce. Do you know what I mean?
Well, okay, but that's more in the realms of fantasy matchmaking, right? Because Fury Joshua couldn't have happened because Fury was gone in the years where Joshua was rising to prominence. Joyce versus Dillian is only after this Dubois victory, maybe the Brian Jennings one, where Joyce has kind of put himself in that discussion. So they're relatively recent ones. It's more the thing of, I can't even think off the top of my head the fights that didn't happen that should have happened.
There's loads, isn't there, of it?
Yard and Boatsy would be one, or maybe Yard and Craig Richards is one that springs to mind immediately.
Cleverly Froch.
I think Cleverly needs a harder fight than that, if I'm being honest with you.
Do me a favour. Froch would have run over him.
Only way he could have beaten him.
Yeah, do me a favour. Nathan Cleverly, you're having a laugh, aren't you?
Look, Kovalev called Cleverly the hardest man he's been hit by.
Kovalev wrote him off. Froch has done the same thing against Cleverly in Froch's weight division.
I don't know. I just think Cleverly at 168, I think Cleverly's unbeatable.
Do you know what
maybe
I'm
over
gonna do?
Ward.
Next time I see you, when you come up here, I'm going to say, come on, I've got a surprise, sir. I'm going to go over to Nottingham. I'm going to say, he's in car with me. I'm going to take you to his gym where he trains in Gedley, and I'm going to say, he's here. And I'll say, right, Carl, he's here, go on. So I'll say what you got.
Mate, Russ, you really want your hero, your best friend, to get knocked out. Okay, cool.
He's not my best friend, he's my pal, isn't he? But you bite every time, Terry. We'll let you spar with Lee Froch, the renovator. We spoke about a Coley Glaunaki. Frank hammered Eddie Hearn on IFL, didn't he? With IFL Umar, and said there's no country, agreed. There's no money being put up. There's no date. So why is Eddie Hearn making announcements? Bob Arum said the same thing.
Look, they're finding it harder than they thought they would, right? Because 2020 decimated the Middle East. Remember we talked about this, Russ, when oil got down to like $6 or $8 a barrel.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I was working through this and we were being told, mate, cut 20% off everything. Yeah. That budget goes down by 20% in 4 weeks. Everyone who was connected to the Middle East was cutting their costs. People losing jobs, homes and stuff because of the oil price. It's kind of rebounding now, but they're trying to make back their losses. They're not trying to spend $100 million on an event where you can't even get international fans to come into the country. It doesn't make any sense now. So if I'm Saudi, I'm saying, number one, you don't want to fight in the Middle East in the summer because like that could be fatal. And I'm being serious when I say that. So realistically, to fight in the Middle East, the earliest you're going to do it's October. Because that's when the temperature makes a bit more sense. Okay, now you're saying Fury's been out the ring, what, 20 months?
Yeah.
Jesus. So Fury needs a tune-up fight. So now
he's been out. No, he's been out 14 months. He's been out.
No. By October it will be.
Oh yeah, by October it'll be 20 months. Yeah.
Yeah, and so Fury needs to fight in between.
Yeah.
Right. So now, when does Fury fight? Does he fight in June? Does he fight in July? fights in July. It's hard for him to fight again in October. So now you're looking at December at the earliest.
And if he does fight, will it be a WBC fight? If it is, and it's anybody in top 15, he could end up skidding on a banana skin, couldn't he?
Exactly. So 2021's out really, because if it has to happen in the Middle East, it has to happen at the back end of the year. Hearn's going to be tied up with Canelo in September and December. So take those 2 months out. That leaves you October, November for the fight to happen. October, Tyson's out the ring for 20 months. November, you're heading into Canelo time anyway. So now you're looking at 2022, realistically.
All right. Ben Davidson's come out and he said that Lee McGregor's world level now after 10 fights. Is that correct?
I don't know who's there at world level. What is he boxing at bantamweight or super bantam?
What fighters have you ever known be world level after 10 fights, apart from Lomachenko, Usyk, maybe Leon Spinks? Who? How many fighters world level after 10 fights?
Oh. Are we talking world level as in they could challenge for a title, or are we talking world level as in they could have a belt and hold it?
Well, didn't Usyk were on about 10 fights. Lomachenko were earlier. Leon Spinks were world champion after, were it 9? I don't know, man. World level, I'm assuming it means that he's Euro level, but he's now into the world rankings, I'm assuming, because he hasn't won a world title. So I'd say he's ranked by the top 15 in a governing body, but Liam Cameron were ranked 12 by IBF. But we all know how
that was disgraceful. Liam should have been at least 4th, man.
Well, we all know how to get these rankings, don't we? But the point I want to make is because you rank in top 15, it doesn't mean say that you're world level, does it?
Liam was world level.
Right.
Yeah, Liam Cameron was world. Yeah.
Liam, I know you're watching. You were world level when you were with Ron Lyle. But
now Lee McGregor, Russ. Hasn't he still got is it Cash Farouk that he's still got unresolved issues with?
I'm not sure. But
the kid from Glasgow that he fought.
I'm not sure, but I see Ben Davison on my TV every day doing interviews. He must do 2 hours interviews a day. Can't do much training, but I see him on my TV every time I turn it on. I lay on my bed, I go, boom. Oh, Ben Davidson. Oh, Caldwell. Oh, Shane McGuigan and Rob Tebbett. Every single day I see these people, same old trainers. I want to know if these trainers are actually doing any training. Have they got any downtime? I don't know.
Nah, man, look, it's tricky. Ben Davison's got a bat for his guy, but I'm looking at Lee McGregor and I'm saying to myself, yeah, they might give you a fight with a Jason Maloney, and maybe that's what you mean by world level. But you're not Inoue world level. You're not Nonito Donaire world level. You're not Rigondeaux world level.
Okay. Warrington Lara rematch is going to be played at Edinley Cricket Ground in Leeds. Pay-per-view, I've been told, behind the scenes, it's come to me. This is from more or less the horse's mouth. That's going to be pay-per-view. Do you feel that that's a step too far for pay-per-view now, or do you feel that Josh Warrington deserves it?
Okay, so question number 1 is, do we want Josh to make the money he deserves? If the answer is yes, I think the only way you're going to do it is pay-per-view.
Well, it's pay-per-view, I've been told, and there's more. There's going to be more surprises leading up to the end of the Hearn era. March, April, May, June. That's 4. But I've been told there's going to be 6 pay-per-views on trot every month. So, all right. I'd like to see Josh Warrington get a few quid, but by putting him in with Lara again, if he gets stopped again, that's got to be him done on it.
I think Lara. Look, I like Josh. I like everything about him. I said to you after the first fight, there's nothing Josh did that was below his normal standards. This Lara kid is just that good.
Okay. Verifying accounts on social media. What's the answer, Terry?
Everybody should verify their account on social media. It should be mandatory. Look, think about this, Russ. to bank online, I have to authenticate. To buy shares online, I have to authenticate. Do you see what I mean? To do most things on social media, I have to authenticate. But I can go on social media and do whatever I want. And the reason the social media companies are okay with this, Russ, is that they can tell you they've got 5 billion active users.
Yeah.
But where did I hear this stat? It was something like 50% of all tweets come from 12% of the accounts on Twitter. So 1 in 8 accounts contributes to 50% of the traffic. And someone said something ridiculous like maybe 60 or 70% of accounts just lurk. They don't say anything on social media.
No.
But the worry is when you start to authenticate and validate accounts, what's going to happen, Russ, is you're going to realize some people have 8 or 10 accounts, and all the traffic you see on their main social media page is coming from their supporting social media pages.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. I agree with what you said, but I don't agree with how they're dealing with it because, for example, I'd like to fire back at a few on my account, but we can't because it's like my hands are tied, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? We've got a license.
Yeah, they're hiding. And you should be able to. This is what I think. This is what I would do. I would, every time someone mentions you in a tweet, you should be able to see who they are, their real name, and what location they tweeted from.
Yeah, well, I know they're watching my channel though, so I have that satisfaction. But I'd like to see some of these people, these faceless people with these names that that aren't them. I'd like to see them come on here on Zoom. They're more than welcome, but keep hiding, don't they? Oh, I've got this job, I've got that job. Well, they don't have the gonards to come and sit across from me on here.
But you know what, Russ? Here's the thing I've learned. Don't be confrontational with the fans because you can't get, the thing is, you can't get to them, right? No. And all you'll do is you'll tie yourself up in knots. I learned this the hard way. All you can do is keep doing episode after episode, keep raising the bar, keep doing what you do. And that's how you hurt people. Success hurts people.
Yeah.
You know you're doing something right when you've got haters, Russ. That's the truth.
Oh, God, I love it. Is Eddie Hearn now using all these platforms to promote Eddie Hearn and not his fighters? Because I keep seeing him popping up constantly and he's advertising water and all sorts of stuff. And he's here, there and everywhere, isn't he? And it's his job, but shouldn't he be putting more effort into his promoters to get more fans watching the sport?
Well, shouldn't those guys be doing more for themselves? Is the question, Russ.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. It's their job, isn't it?
Because think about Eddie, right? Eddie makes money promoting fights. If everyone on that card could promote themselves well enough, he could just sit back and count the money. But he's just like, I can't trust these guys to do the job, so I'm going to do it. And he does it. Does it pretty well. It's annoying, but it's effective.
Yeah. All right. What do you think to Joe Cordina at weekend?
I don't know where he's going. I think his moment's gone. I'm like, who are you going to put him in with next?
He struggled with a journeyman, didn't
he? Yeah, and part of that's rustiness. But do you know when you just don't have confidence that someone is actually elite? Like they try to feed us this rubbish for years that he was elite. And now we're finding out that maybe he's not. And I don't know if it's a lifestyle thing. I don't know if it's a talent thing. I don't know what it is.
All right. Frank Smith's been wheeled out on IFL to say Joshua AJ happens. Is that just them just chipping away because Eddie's fed up of repeating himself? So they've wheeled Frank out?
Well, he's not saying anything we don't know. We know Joshua Fury's going to happen. Yeah. We just know when and where. That's all we want to know. When and where, how much you're going to charge us on pay-per-view. If until people can answer those questions, I'm not listening to anyone.
Yeah. Is Tony Bellew coming back?
Ooh. I hope not.
All right. I
really hope not.
Would that be a kick in the teeth for fans if he bounced back?
Why would it be a kick in the teeth?
Well, because they'd be throwing him in with somebody who he can't beat, wouldn't they? Heavyweight.
Mm, you could have Bellew Chisora, I guess. They're about the same age.
The mates,
You could
aren't
have
they?
you could have Bellew Takam. You know, if Parker loses to Chisora, you could have Bellew Parker.
Hey, I would want to watch that.
Hmm?
We want to watch that. Parker against Bellew. Stinkinator against Bellew. He'd be looking flabby, wouldn't it? Heavyweight Bellew. Is Beef shot?
Why? Nah, he stopped his man.
People are saying he's shot.
How are you shot? He hasn't even had 20 fights.
Yeah, I know. Has he got miles on clock for 36 though?
Well, where did he get the miles from?
I know, that's what I'm just saying. People keep waiting for him to get old, don't they? I'm just asking you what you think.
Nah, man. Listen, he hasn't been in the ring for a while. Once he got his rhythm, it looked like he was doing what he had to do. That punch he stopped the guy with, that left hook. Jesus.
Think he was, yeah, I know. Do you think he was rusty?
When's the last time he fought before this one?
Ages ago, isn't it?
Yeah. At 36, you got to be fighting regularly. That's just the reality of it. Otherwise, it just takes longer to get things going. So I feel for him. Like he probably wants to be more active, but at like heavyweight, you don't want to fight that guy because like he's going to hurt you. He's going to really hurt you. And God forbid he went up to cruiserweight.
Derek Chisora says that. Chisora says that he's going to carry on fighting because he's not stuttering yet. What do you think to
that? He will be soon enough. Don't you worry about that. Like the thing is, once these guys binned off UCAD, careers were going to go on as long as they wanted them to go on for.
Yeah.
That's just the cold, hard reality of it, right? You can go on for as long as UCAD don't test. Once UCAD start testing you every third day, you'll suddenly see people get old really quickly.
Yeah, all right. Rob Tebbett says that the only person Andre Ward will come back for is Canelo. Do you believe that?
I don't care what Rob Tebbett says.
Okay, that's no problem. Moving on. Callum Smith, Joe Smith. Is that a good fight?
Good fight, yeah. The winner gets to keep the Smith name. But no, that's a hell of a fight. Like, you got Callum, long, rangy, skilled, and you've got Joe Smith, who's, he's meant to be a power puncher, right? So we'll see. But Joe Smith seems to be the in-demand guy. A lot of people want Joe Smith. So fair play, man. I wish Callum all the best. I'm gutted that he was the guy.
Sorry, I've got that wrong. Callum Johnson against Joe Smith. Sorry, even though Callum Smith against Joe Smith is a great fight, I meant Callum Johnson against Joe Smith. Well, both of them really. They're both great fights, aren't they? For both.
Yeah. Well, I think Callum Johnson for different reasons. That's two bangers going at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I can say. So just put them in the ring. Yeah, just put them in the ring. You don't even need a referee for that one. Just put them in the ring. Let them go for it.
Yeah. Beefy Smith, Manny Robles, Joe Gallagher, bit of a triangle going on there. Do you think it's been handled in bad taste? Manny Robles has now come out and said that Beefy Smith's team got in touch with him 3 weeks ago to say...
Wait. Isn't Joe Gallagher Beefy Smith's team?
Yeah, I know, yeah, but which team is Manny Robles on about? Is he on about Hearn, Matchroom, or MTK?
Yeah, because my assumption was Joe Gallagher was Team Smith. Well, at least he was at the heart of it.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that he wasn't aware that this was happening. What's Manny Robles going to do with a guy who's in his mid-30s? Nothing. Like, Liam Smith was better off staying with Joe. Joe knows him, knows his body, knows how he operates. Yeah. This is where boxers are stupid. Now, and a lot of boxers are stupid in this sense because they assume that you can unlearn what you spent 10 to 12 years learning with someone else. You don't unlearn that.
Yeah.
Like, Manny Robles isn't going to do anything. And what Manny Robles showed us with Andy Ruiz is that he's not a disciplinarian at all.
Yeah.
It was just that you do what you want.
Yeah. Do you think it's been handled in bad taste regarding Joe? Think he deserves better?
Well, it depends what we have to define better. Do I think he has to stay with Joe? Not necessarily, because that's the whole point about freedom.
Yeah.
Do I think he'd be better off staying with Joe? Then absolutely.
No,
because Joe knows him better than anyone else.
Yeah, but I'm on about they've been together years, they've been around the world, the families know each other and all that. Do you think that Beefy should have sat down with him instead of just disappearing and it being done through social media?
What was if that's how it was done? Then what can you do? This is the world we live in.
Well, Joe Gallagher's had to read about it third hand, hasn't he?
Is he still his manager?
No, he's MTK, isn't he, Beefy? Joe was his trainer, wasn't he?
Yes, that's a real shame. But here's what I'll say about Joe. He'll find another crop of youngsters and he'll rebuild. And Joe will be fine.
Yeah, I just think it's been handled in bad taste, me. This is my opinion on it. I just think that,
Russ, this is boxing. This is how things normally happen in boxing.
Yeah, but isn't it best stuff that you just, like, one of you screams how you feel and that, like me? Me and Den have to say how I feel. No.
It's just more hassle than it's worth. And you just go and do your deal and go, right, this is done now, mate. That's all there is to it. And everyone keeps it moving.
I want to finish off on Sadiq Khan saying that Anthony Joshua's got an MBE, an OBE, and he deserves a knighthood, a KBE. What do you think about that, Mr. Sadiq Khan, London Mayor?
Joshua was seen in Dubai playing around with monkeys who were massively mistreated and made no statement about it, just seemed to be going along for the ride. When this COVID thing happened a year ago and people were told to stay at home, Anthony Joshua was out there riding motorbikes like he didn't care. Once they start doing the digging into Anthony Joshua, they'll find that it's very hard to award him a knighthood considering the stuff he gets up to, which isn't necessarily bad. But if David Beckham doesn't have a knighthood, then Jesus Christ, how on earth does Joshua get one?
I know, yeah. But Sadiq Khan got him an OBE, didn't he? An Olympic team got him an MBE, McCracken and Sheffield MPs and that. They all got them, didn't they? All got gold medals. So what do you think about, like I said, the knighthood? Do you think he's too young for a knighthood? It's too early to be talking about
he can't get one he can't get one before David Beckham.
No.
He can't get one before Alan Shearer. He can't, because these were guys who had longevity and they did it in like competitive sports. Like Beckham, Man United, Real Madrid, LA Galaxy, PSG, AC Milan. Come on, man. Like that's the benchmark for getting a knighthood.
Under caps for England.
Yeah. Captain of this country. Went to tournaments, the redemption, all of these things. He's a good family man from what we can see. Charitable causes.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
Now, look, am I in favor of giving boxers? I think more boxers deserve honors for a start. I'd like to have seen Carl Froch get something close to a knighthood.
Got an MBE.
I think. Yeah, Carl's at that level. So for me, he literally carried this country on his back. Ricky Hatton carried this country on his back.
Clinton Woods.
Ricky Hatton is the reason we have boxing the way it is now.
Clinton Woods, world champion over 3 years.
No, but you have to have a wider impact, Russ. That's my point. Like to get an honor, you have to have been good at your sport, but you need that wider impact. And I don't think Joshua's had that wider impact just yet.
Yeah. What, for a knighthood?
Yeah, remember, look, this country hasn't forgiven him for the Black Lives Matter speech he made.
Oh, God, hung himself with that, didn't he?
Well, there's a lesson. Don't read something written by somebody else.
I know, yeah. All right then. Well, it's been emotional, Terry. We've let rip again, haven't we?
Mate, we just deliver that quality content and unfiltered, just as honest as we can make it.
Did you get your Lacoste trainers?
I haven't seen Riku yet, and they're still locked down, Russ. I think, you
you have to walk over and get them.
Oh yeah, because London's just like Dennerby.
How far is it to East Croydon and Elite Rico?
Oh man, that could be 15, 18 miles to get to.
That really is. That's like going to Leeds from here.
There you go, you see.
All right then. Okay, well, yeah, I suppose I remember when I was driving through there and I ended up with all them tickets from Sadiq Khan. It's not easy to get anywhere down there, is it?
It's not too bad. Well, for where he is anyway, it's not too bad. But it's not the right time. Like, I think everyone wants to just make sure things are okay before we start just jumping into bed with each other.
No worries then. All right then, mate. Well, listen, it's 12:20 on a Monday.
Yeah, go on, show the viewers your watch, mate. I know, I like how you did that.
All right, fair. Worked hard for that.
What is it? Is that an advertisement?
It's Breitling Bentley. They sent me it, didn't they? Watchfinder.
Well, Watchfinder did.
Yeah,
hey, Watchfinder, where's my watch?
If they want to send stuff like that, it's good luck to them, innit? I always like watches anyway, but you're not going to knock a freebie back, are you?
Yeah, hey, Watchfinder, I need a Bella Ross or an IWC. Come on, man. Stamp it up.
No matter look, they'll come and take it off me, saying, hey, you're swearing too much, Russell. All right then, mate. Well, listen, you take care.
I will do, mate.
And have a great week. And I'll get this out this afternoon if I can, mate. All right, mate?
No, mate, no worries.
You take care. Peace out.
All right, take care, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye. That was Terry. Terry the banker from London, we call him. I always enjoy having Terry on. It's always very popular. People keep saying, Porky, you should put Terry videos on members only. Would I be out of order if I split this into a part 1 and part 2? Made you all watch the part 2 on members? Nah, it's not about that, is it? We've all got to get a few quid, haven't we? But it's about winning, isn't it? And not doing all you're doing, isn't it? But if I'm the pioneer for YouTube channels, just getting you sent a bit of a few quid, why not? I mean, I had to laugh when I heard that Rob Tebbert sat in a pair of women's knickers. We're going, Porky's doing pay-per-view. No, we're not doing pay-per-view, but we say the things that you daren't say, Rob. You dare say them, but you say them in confidence to people. We don't. We call people out on it, don't we? But we don't get our tongue up people's hoops like you and Coogan, do we? All right. Like a lizard doing that. Well, that's about it. I'm going to ring this number I've just got off my pal. Try and get my teeth booked in somewhere else. Might be able to go on solids then. So peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep supporting boxing. Conor Ben. Don't have nightmares.
You like that one, didn't you? Right, first of all, I just want to say thank you very much for liking and subscribing. It means a lot to me because we're on this journey together, aren't we? So anybody got any ideas for the channel, fire them over to me, porkycorner@mail.com. All right. Shout out to Innovation Alloys and South Yorkshire Packaging. All right. Don't forget to subscribe. Keep on trucking.